Join Sean and Brad as they talk about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States.
Yo, happy
Over to
friends,
you
what's up?
boys.
Guys, your sports back again. Wildcard Weekend. Sean and Brad coming to you live. We got a lot of things to talk about today. We're talking about some NBA. We're going to talk, a lot about the wildcard round. Early Saturday morning on January 9th. So this is before any of the games kick off. It's a little bit early. I don't have any beer quite yet. It's 8 a.m. on the West Coast. So we would like to say
what
thank you.
Brad's trying to say is that he just got a little lazy on Friday night. Is that what Brad's trying to say?
It's really what happened. Flyers, we appreciate your support as always. I got this, that pacemaker for later on today. The Seahawks are playing the Rams. One exciting thing Flyers has going is this 32-ounce can that they'll fill for you with your favorite brew. So if you're a guy that likes to drink beer out of cans, like I do, big exciting news. So shout out to Tony for putting cans together. It's great. I'm actually gonna pop into Flyers here when they open before they get the Hawks game and grab a couple cans so I can enjoy.
Must be nice to be able to move around freely, man.
It is, Sean.
Yeah. I'm in isolation for the next 2 weeks. So my wife had to go to Ohio. Her brother and sister-in-law were in a car accident. They're doing fine. So she had to fly out there. And I picked her up on Wednesday. So since Wednesday, we've been in isolation. So I didn't have a chance to go get any beer. So sorry, old biddy. Sorry, everybody else. Yeah, Guys Beer Sports. So I'm just drinking some old wine. Some old Cabernet Sauvignon.
As you should.
And I have a couple of bottles to go around for Wildcard Weekend.
You should be drinking old wine. You're not even celebrating Wildcard Weekend. It seems like you're so accustomed to not being in the playoffs that you just went immediately to hockey season.
No. Stop. Please. So listen, we already know the Buffalo's a lock. They're going to destroy Indianapolis. And as much as I don't want to bet on Cleveland, I'm betting on Cleveland. That's going to happen. They're going to destroy Pittsburgh. So I'm just letting that go. I'm looking forward to Wednesday. NHL season starts. Toronto versus Montreal, Wednesday night, 8:30. Looking forward to that. So as you can tell, one of the fans of the show there, Kenny, he ended up making this wonderful puck that's behind here on me right here.
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs puck just arrived. So he made this back in September, mailed it from the U.S.
Yeah, I love how you went to point the puck, but you accidentally pointed at George St. Pierre's naked chest. So.
I had to move. Yeah, it's like right here.
Yeah, it's like a magnet from your hand.
I couldn't help myself.
Disturbing.
Dude, he's the best fighter. Come on.
Yeah, well,
You're gonna see it my way. One point there.
One day, one magical day.
What a crazy week this week has been.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah, it feels like the longest week of the year already.
Man.
It doesn't bode well for the rest of the year, but
No. We were talking a little bit just beforehand. I got to be honest. I'm glad hockey's starting to get my mind off of all this news because there was nothing to watch.
Yep. Well, there was. You didn't want to because it's your Toronto Raptors are not doing well. So
they're not. Oh, good segue there. Good segue. Let's talk about a little NBA here.
Yeah.
NBA's in full swing.
They are.
There's a lot of teams that are underperforming and a lot of teams that are overperforming right now.
Yeah. I think this is the balance when you don't have proper training camps, you don't have proper preseasons. When you're coming off of, I think 70 days was the gap between the playoffs and the regular season starting.
It was pretty shortened. This is one of the short. I think it's 70 days.
It is
a little over 2 months.
It's the shortest turnaround.
It's very short.
You're gonna have some lag. Even though it happened in a Trailblazers game, I was happy to see Steph Curry kind of get his rhythm back, and people put some respect back on Steph Curry's name because Steph Curry might be the most disrespected player by the national folks that I can remember. I mean, Steph Curry he's not a great defender, but offensively, he's a guy. No one shoots like that.
Yeah. I agree.
To talk about is Steph done and Steph needs all that stuff, and all those things help. But man, Steph Curry really this last week has turned it around, and you kind of got his swagger back. You can see he's got a little bit of. I think he maybe had lost his joy of the playing in the game.
Oh, he was injured for a good portion of that season last year as well. So,
Yeah, and I think just everything else, just kind of was sitting on him heavy, maybe. But it seems like maybe he's found his rhythm back, and so it's exciting to see him playing well again.
Raptors are not doing super hot, although they won yesterday against Sacramento.
Yeah, the up and coming Sacramento Kings.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though.
Feels weird to say that.
I know, right? Here's the thing about the Raps, though. Their defense is atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. Yeah. The past 4 games, they've let over 120 points in per game.
Well, here's what begs the question of that, right? Is that we've talked here about, that James Harden to the Raptors is the most attractive packet for the Rockets.
Yeah.
It's not for the Raptors because their problem is not offense. Their problem is defense.
Yeah. That's it.
James Harden's not bringing defense. That's not it.
Like, what they're asking for, they're asking for OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and a first rounder. It's like, no.
Yeah, well, but that covers your offense. I mean, that's a decent trade-off for offense. But the gap on your defense is you're going to play it's like the ABA days, right? You're going to go 150 to 140 every night.
You can't. That's hard. That's hard.
Not in the East. You won't do it in the East.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm glad to see young guys like Chris Boucher coming out there getting that time. They're looking good. Fred VanVleet just signed that huge contract and he's starting to come around a little bit. I was glad to see Norm Powell come out and look really good.
Powell's looking better. Norm Fleet's going to be the guy, right? Like
he has to be the guy. He just signed all that money.
And you got that shoe endorsement. You got a bunch of stuff. And this is the tell is for athletes is how do they perform once they get paid? Mm-hmm. Because the biggest busts typically are guys that receive large contracts, either initially as the draft pick or their second contract, and they don't perform. Because because money corrupts sometimes, right? Corrupts your work. Like we'll see how Fred goes.
But that's why when you look at LeBron James and just that constant professionalism that he brings to the NBA, to everything he does. I mean, you just say what you will about him.
Yeah.
You can love him or hate him. The man's a consummate professional.
You have to respect LeBron James's work ethic.
Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, he chased championships on teams. Yeah, maybe he went to this team. Yeah, maybe, this or that. Maybe he's all about the dollar. But I'll tell you what you're getting from him on your team. Day in and day out.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that he chased, but here's what I think that he did is that he found ownership groups that were willing to let him put together his own team.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for that because that's Michael Jordan had that in Chicago.
Yes, he did.
Let's be very clear. Michael Jordan decided who was on that roster.
Well, he needed to because it couldn't just be Jordan winning all those championships by himself.
Dan Gilbert in Cleveland was not giving him that opportunity.
You know what? That's a good point. That's fair.
That's why he went to Miami. When he realized he could hold it, he was probably in his prime, his last year in Cleveland. He thought he could win it by himself. Went back to Cleveland, had that roster that wasn't the best roster, but was serviceable in how he saw the landscape. And LeBron is very smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's orchestrating those same things out in LA. Rob Pelinka is giving LeBron the same thing Deshaun Watson wants in Houston.
Let's get to that. We'll get to that Deshaun Watson conversation after. There's some good conversation we were talking about there.
The parallel is there for me.
Yeah.
And it's different in basketball and football.
True enough.
And we can talk about that. But
now here's the other thing though, because when you just said that about LeBron and basically going to teams, letting ownership let him build his teams. Mm-hmm. The same could be said about Kawhi Leonard 2 years ago when he went to the Clippers saying, this is what I want. I want Paul George, and even this year going after Serge Ibaka saying, hey, why don't you come here?
Well,
So he's been actively recruiting. He's been doing all that. And it's not translating the same way for the Clippers.
Well, but I think that's because Kawhi's leadership is not LeBron's leadership.
There is something to be said about that. I mean, I love Kawhi, and I think that Kawhi's presence on the basketball court cannot be overemphasized. But in a locker room, I don't think that he controls that locker room.
Kawhi is not successful when he does not have a strong head coach.
And Tyronn Lue is not that guy.
No.
Greg
Popovich, 100%, right?
Absolutely.
And as much trash
Nick
as I
Nurse.
talk about the Nurse boy,
Yeah,
I still respect him as a great coach, and he's a fantastic leader.
he is. I mean, when I see,
you saw him get the best out of Kawhi.
That's it. And that
Doc
load management.
Doc Rivers, not that guy. Tyronn Lue, not that guy. And you're seeing what you get out of those stars when they don't have that ability. They're not all driven the way Dwayne Wade was, or the way that. And Eric Spoelstra was that guy. I think that LeBron learned a lot from Eric Spoelstra.
It's so interesting, right? Because we were all, when originally in Miami, it was like Eric Spoelstra. I mean, what the heck do you have to do? You just go out there and say, go slam the ball, go do this, go make the 3-point. You know what I mean? He didn't have to coach, but he must have done something because he's still there in Miami.
You know who his guy is
now?
No, it's Pat Riley.
Oh yeah,
Who's the biggest Eric Spoelstra fan?
Yeah.
Who's the biggest Eric Spoelstra fan? It's Pat Riley.
That makes sense.
And Pat's not letting you tarnish his name.
Heck no.
There ain't none of that coming.
Heck no. Good point.
I got a lot of. I love the Miami Heat just because of those two guys. To be honest with you.
Now, what do you think of the Bucks as well? So Giannis signed that major deal. They haven't gotten moving really. I mean, Nets don't look that great. I thought that they were going to be a running over teams, and they're looking.
They are when Kevin Durant's playing.
It's very true. Celtics look good. I like the Celtics.
And the Celtics are underperforming.
That's right, right?
Well, the thing to watch in Brooklyn is Kyrie, which seems to be the thing for every place Kyrie is. But this whole I'm not playing because I don't feel like playing garbage on Thursday night and then not traveling with the team again for Friday, that's not going to cut it. And he maybe has a different tune when Kevin's playing. And I get it. There's 56 games this year.
What in NBA? Matter? I thought it was 71 actually.
That's 71, whatever it is. It's not a whole season, but
I think you got hockey and basketball mixed up there.
Amazing, isn't that crazy, Sean? Look how good I'm doing. But 1 or 2 games, 5 games, whatever the regular season's not really going to matter, right?
Right.
But what's going to matter is team chemistry. So we'll see how they go now.
Listen, the Raptors had to win yesterday because they were 1-6, going 1-7 to start. That would have been.
I think they have to make a move.
They need something.
Yeah,
and it's time. No. But it's time to move Lowry maybe for somebody else. They have a lot of not expensive pieces, but they have a lot of pieces they can move.
Yeah,
they've had their time, but I'd hate to treat Lowry that way. I got to be honest. As a Raptors fan, I understand as a business, it's probably a good move.
Man, I think you try to go get DeMar DeRozan and see what happens. Put those two back together.
Would DeMar even want to come back?
I don't know.
I love DeMar DeRozan, and I think he got the short end of the stick.
DeMar DeRozan loves?
Kyle Lowry. It's true.
He learned some things from Pop. He's playing better right now. Would you want to go to LA? I'm sure he would love to go back home to LA. Where does he fit on either of those two rosters? Yeah. I don't think that he does.
I would love to see him. Yeah, he does.
Fits in Toronto.
And he'd be a great small forward. The thing is that what happens with Pascal Siakam then at that point? Then where do you move him?
You send him to San Antonio.
I guess that's where he'd have to go. Yeah. And there's something to be said.
I think it's an upgrade.
I'm not going to deny that. I mean,
not a knock. It's not a knock on Siakam, right?
No,
but he's just not. He's not a superstar.
Yeah,
he's a star. No. He's a star, right?
He's a solid
player.
But that's the thing. DeMar DeRozan isn't a superstar either. He's a star.
But he is with Kyle Lowry.
There's something to be said about that. Yeah. When the Raptors had Kawhi Leonard, that was our first legitimate superstar that we've ever had. Like we've had stars. We've had stars come through. What?
Hall of Famers play on that team.
Beyond their prime.
Vince Carter was not beyond his prime.
Vince Carter was all worried about Vince Carter when he was here. I'm sorry.
Still a superstar.
And I love what somebody put up. There was a meme I saw. Not a meme. It was an actual post that said Vince Carter played X amount, four decades in the NBA, no NBA championships, no MVPs, all that time, just jumping, just jumping and shooting. It's like, yeah, that sounds like Vince Carter.
Yep.
Vince Carter was worried about Vince Carter. I'll tell you that right now.
Vince Carter.
Tracy McGrady was worried about Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady was worried about Tracy McGrady, and Vince Carter was worried about Vince Carter.
Tracy got what Tracy got.
Tracy McGrady should never have left the Raptors at that point.
Nope.
Anyways, though, we're going deep into the weeds on that there, and
it's time for that. We can do that later.
Yeah.
We'll get back to this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Because it is interesting, because we could have had an NBA championship much earlier, I think. Much earlier. But
yeah, 100% agree.
You know, like, I don't know what we were thinking though when we brought Hakeem Olajuwon on. The dream, right?
He became
the nightmare as soon as he came on board.
Trying to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Well, my! The last thing I want to say two things about the NBA, and here's where it goes. Robert Parrish being a Sonic is a terrible memory for me, but
dude,
that's what happens.
That barely even blips as a registered memory for me. I'm sorry.
It's not your team. It's why. But in a couple of interesting news this week, a couple of conversations with Adam Silver about expansion, because the NBA is losing money and understands they have to expand.
Yeah, Seattle's in the
list.
Seattle's in the mix. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We got the arena. The arena's done.
Listen, I remember very vividly a few years back that if you guys were able to get a hockey team in an arena, that it was going to be a lock for an NBA team.
Yep.
So I think you guys deserve it. I think you guys deserve it. You guys were robbed.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of how do I say this? Coexistence, symbiotic, like similarity between Toronto and Seattle as far as certain sports go. Yeah. Because the Mariners broke in the same year as the Blue Jays. They're like sister teams when they came in. So I've been following Seattle sports because of that. And I feel that same feeling in Seattle as I do with Toronto. Like, like people are there going, they want Seattle to win. They're kind of like that lovable underdog, but it's just like they just seem to never be able to get it done, except for the NBA championship you guys won, and the Super Bowl you guys won, which, I mean, buddy, that's like,
those two things have both happened in my lifetime, and I'm 42, so 40, whatever. Right? That's 40 years, 2 championships.
That's right. I got 3 championships in my lifetime. So I feel you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that pain.
As long as I can get one more in the next 6 years, I think we'll be tied.
But meanwhile, you got somebody like Reed just walking around with 6 Super Bowl championships, has a Stanley Cup to talk about it, and an NBA championship, plus whatever else that it was with the kid.
Multiple NBA championships,
walking around.
Because Reed was around the Larry Bird years too, right? Like,
of course,
he's got real rings.
And meanwhile, I'm thinking is like how he just goes around and just badmouths his team every chance he has when they're doing horrible. And I'm like, listen, I don't even get it, man. I don't get it. I guess when you're spoiled with championships, you could do that. I don't know.
Well, there's a phrase for that, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to offend anybody. It's fine.
No, go ahead and say it.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about it afterwards.
That's all right. Yeah. I don't want to offend anybody.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Not yet.
We still. Man, Wildcard Weekend. What do you think of the extended game, the third game?
Love it. I love it too. I always have hated the 2-bye teams. I love 1-bye. I think it made it competitive all the way through. I love having 3 games on 2 days. Like, oh my God. Like, that's what we're going to do. That's why we're here. That's why we're early. That's why we're moving. Like 10 o'clock, be locked in. We're going to see some blowouts. Who cares? It's the playoffs. Like this, none of it matters. Like blowouts in the playoffs are still fun.
You really
blowouts in the regular seasons are not.
You think there's a bunch of blowouts?
Yeah, I think. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, I got to be honest. I don't know. I think that each game, all right, I'm going to get into my whole entire predictions in a second here. But the thing is that I think each
Your
one of these
homer
rounds.
prediction? Is that you just say your homer projections? Is that what you said? Here's the
homer
thing.
projection.
We haven't talked about this. You know what a homer is? It's Reed, one. But two, it's a person who just bets because of like where they're from. Like that's what a homer is, right? This is what we should do.
Are you trying to say like Homer Simpson? Like what the heck?
No,
Get
not
out of here.
Homer
Get
Simpson.
out of here.
No.
Like what about Homer in the Iliad?
I don't whatever. We're getting too deep. Here's what I want to do.
That's Greek mythology, my friend.
I know we're way too far. We're talking about Vince Carter and Greek mythology on Wildcard Weekend. We need to slow down.
How come is it you have to act like you don't know what I'm talking about when you completely do, and then you just like no, I don't know what you're talking about, but I do. But
I don't know. When's the last time you sat at a bar and talked about Greek mythology?
Never.
Exactly. My point.
Never. Okay.
You and I have had great conversations about it, and we can bring up some stuff. I will say this: is when football's over, we're gonna have some time to kill. We can talk about all this other shit, but right now, Wildcard Weekend, it's football. I want to talk about these games, and I want to hear two predictions at the end.
All right. So
I want to hear what your heart wants, and I want to hear what your wallet would say.
I hear you. It's so funny because like I put that up on our group page, all the teams who you think, and I got into a nice discussion with one of my friends there. Hey Stella, what's up? Got a nice discussion there, and he was like basically making fun of me for picking the Browns. Yeah. But we'll get into that there because you're absolutely right. There's your heart in your head. I want to
give a shout out to Jeremy for liking the Beast Mode post because no one else did. So screw you guys.
Whoa, I liked your Beast Quake. What are you talking about? No, you didn't. I did too. I put a like. I said, hey, congrats. It's a decade. It's 10 years ago.
The greatest sports memory I have.
Dude, it was amazing. It was amazing. I remember, I will never forget, I was on the watch floor at Whidbey Island, and this one guy's a New Orleans Saints fan, right? And he's like telling, we got these guys. We're going to destroy them, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember 80-something yard. And all I felt was like 80-yard rush that Marshawn Lynch did. And all I remember was like, he used to play for Buffalo. It's like, why don't we get rid of him?
I feel like Tracy Porter and Josh Norman are in a support group together.
Well, you forgot about Jabari Greer there too, because
that's true.
You forgot about Jabari Greer.
The only way I would love Derrick Henry more now is if he grabbed his nuts whenever he jumped over the like. That was to me like that's like just the mwah. Marshawn did that multiple times.
That was a South Central.
When he knew that like he broke your back and broke your will, and scored when he should not have scored, he would jump from the 1 yard line and turn around so you could see his front side and just check himself right in front of you. Like it's just that's a South Central coming out, man. That's his Oakland shit. That's that Oakland boy. He was like, "Hey, hold these
CDs."
Yep. Oh, man. CDs right here. Anyway, let's jump to it. Today, your boys are starting off early.
That's right.
I mean, and you know what's interesting to me? I feel like this is disrespectful to Buffalo.
Yeah.
To have them be the first game.
First game. Makes no sense.
The early game on Saturday?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to give the 2
But
seed?
meanwhile, it's Tampa Bay and Washington is the evening game. That makes no sense.
Well, it's even Pittsburgh and Cleveland's the evening game on Sunday to close out. Like, why?
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not going to put Bears and Saints in there. And Ravens and Titans, I don't care. So.
Well, I'm saying, I'm just saying, like, the 2 seed should play later in the day. That's all I'm saying. It's disrespectful.
Dude, absolutely. Bills should not be playing first thing in the morning, but whatever.
Yeah, well,
it's the way that everybody feels.
It's a normal start time for Buffalo.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
they're always in the early window.
Yeah.
The East Coast, right? But still, it's just, I feel like it's disrespectful to.
But here's the thing. You know what I love about this, though, man, is that you're probably going for Phillip Rivers, old man Rivers, that he's going to like pull this out.
Why? Because me and Philip both have a lot of kids. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's it. You got that. I wasn't, but that's a good point. You and old man Rivers are gonna pull this one out there. Him with his 9 kids, you with your 5.
Philip Rivers and I are not sleeper sofa kind of guys. No pullouts in this family.
Is he an X-Men though?
No, he hasn't tried to stop having kids like I did.
So, I mean, to me, listen, the very fact that you hate Josh Allen, you don't think he's a good quarterback. You think he's trash. You don't think he's accurate. It just makes me feel even more confident to bet on this.
It's a strong word.
You're right. Dislike, don't like, don't like.
No, I mean, I like him. I just think that he's not good. That's not disliking him.
But how can you say he's not good? 35 touchdowns, I believe, this year. 70%, like 70% completion rate.
1 year.
Very low.
Not career stats. 1 year.
This is 3rd season. He's been getting better every season. This is the biggest jump.
Maybe.
This is the biggest. Listen, man. Listen. Josh Allen. The running game I'm worried about, but the defense started coming together, and he is playing lights out football. So I think that I think they got the Colts. They're playing in Buffalo, first game in Buffalo, in I don't know how long. It's got to be like 30 years.
Yeah, probably. And they got fans for the first. I mean, it's gonna be live.
5,000 fans. Yeah,
they probably
they all had a test for COVID. Yeah.
The fans did?
Yeah, they had a test for COVID the whole entire week. The whole entire week. If they bought tickets, they had a test the whole entire week to make certain they didn't have it. Can you believe that? Every day you're driving.
I believe the Bills Mafia was into that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'd do it, to be honest with you.
Of course. If I got tickets and this is what you need me to do in order to go,
like, hey, do you want to see your team play a playoff game? You just have to take a test. Yep.
And have you got tested yet? Have you got tested?
No.
Oh my God, Brad, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing ever. They put that Q-tip right up your nose and it feels like it's going into your brain.
Yep.
Like, I'm not even kidding you, man. And then they're rubbing it around in there and you're like watering in your eyes. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I'm sorry I made you cry. You didn't make me cry. You didn't do that.
My decisions have made me cry.
Anyways, yeah, I think that's gonna be a great game.
So Indianapolis' defense is bottom half of the top 10, right? I mean, they're a good defense.
Yeah, they're a good defense. Yeah.
There's that, right? They'll have to limit big plays to Stephon Diggs. Is that his name?
Stephon Diggs? Yeah. Stephon.
I'm always confused.
Come on now, man. Come on, man. No. Now you're just being petty. Now you're being petty. Diggs. That's so petty. So petty.
Listen, Stephon Diggs has been a part of some of the craziest plays in the NFL playoff history.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
So
it's crazy what you're saying. Crazy.
If they can limit plays to him, big plays to him. He's going to get his yards. He's going to get his catches, right? We know that. If they can do that and slow the running game down a little bit, if they can win, I feel like their only shot is if they win the turnover battle, and I don't think that they do. That's their only shot.
Yeah.
The question will be is if Buffalo's defense can stop Indy's running game.
I'll give you that.
Philip Rivers is not beating them.
No, I'll give you that. I will say that's what it comes down to.
That's
Buffalo's
the outlier
defense.
for me.
Absolutely. Buffalo's defense got to play really good football here.
Yeah.
Their offense.
Jonathan Taylor can break off another 250, then Buffalo's in real trouble.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening.
No, I don't either.
I mean, yeah.
Like capital I, capital F.
Yeah.
If.
I mean, I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be decisive, though. I think, Josh Allen, this is his 3rd playoff game, and I think you're about to see a different Josh Allen come out of this.
I think this is the blowout of the weekend.
Yeah, like I think he's got this one. That's interesting because
I think Buffalo blows the Colts out.
Because we'll be seeing double or nothing here after this weekend, like basically.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah. So if people haven't been tuning in, Brad was supposed to do 50 push-ups after the New England Patriots got smashed by the Buffalo Bills, but he was smart last week and pushed it to a double or nothing to see whose team will go further.
We'll see how smart it is.
So no, it was smart. It was smart. I'm gonna
see.
because I had you. I should have just said no. I was even thinking about like seriously, Brad. I've had conversations in my head going. I should have just said no. There's nothing else to prove.
No.
Just do your push-ups. But
you're a nice guy because you realized I wasn't betting on my team.
Yeah, you were. You were betting on your team completely.
No, I was betting against your team.
Oh, you mean yeah. So I see what you're saying now. Yeah, now you're betting on your team.
This is a real
yes. I got you.
I was just being an ass earlier. This is a real tell of teams. This is the thing.
And the thing is, the Seahawks are tough because they got the Rams third time this season. Third time.
Yeah, but it's split, so it's not. I think on paper it lines out to be one of the best games, right?
It's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, we'll see who the starter is for the Rams. Fingers crossed is Jared Goff because we smoke Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I love playing Jared Goff. If here's the outlier is if Seattle's offense can get together with what they were doing in the early season, if they can find that rhythm again with the way the defense is playing now, better hold on like Marshawn.
I agree with you. I think your defense has improved. Your defense has improved the past 4 weeks.
We're going to see a Jamal Adams today that no one has seen.
Yeah. Your defense has improved the past 4 weeks. I honestly think
so.
I think the Seahawks are going to end up winning this one unless Aaron Donald has that kind of game because he can't. He can't have that kind of game where he just stifles Russell Wilson, and if he does that, it's a different story. Russell Wilson's got to play amazing.
If they're playing where they're protecting well, the offensive line is healthy for the first time in 6 weeks. The running game is intact for the first time in 6 weeks.
Listen,
the receivers are hot.
Yeah,
I think Tyler Lockett has 8 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett's going to have a Tyler Lockett game.
DK Metcalf is the greatest addition to your team, by the way.
Yeah, he's top shelf.
Yeah.
So I think that all the ingredients are there to move forward. Betting with my heart and my wallet is both Seattle.
Yeah,
rare for me.
I agree with you. I mean, the thing is that I don't think this bet's going to be settled this week.
No.
I got to be honest. I think it's going to go. It's going to be a push for another week, but
it might run for a couple weeks.
It might,
as it should. We both deserve.
What happens if it becomes the Super Bowl matchup? It's just like too much.
Be riding it the whole way out.
Just watch you do these damn push-ups.
Trying to get them zeros. Just looking for my boys to get me a 0. It's not even a win. It's just a 0. It's all I'm looking for.
That's it, right? I just want to see those push-ups.
I'm not trying to win now. I'm just trying to push.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think the Seahawks win that game against the Rams. I don't think the Rams. If Jared Goff isn't playing, it's not good for them. If Jared Goff is playing, it's not good for them. Yeah. Jared Goff, and the thing is, Rams don't have that great run game.
I bet Jared Goff plays. Jared Goff went through Thursday and Friday with no limitations.
Yeah, it's a playoff game. I totally agree. I just don't think the Rams are going to have enough juice to pull this one off in Seattle.
No, their running game's in tatters. Cooper Kupp's coming back from being off. We don't know how that's going to go. Yeah, there's just a bunch of outliers for them. Again, it's not going to be a surprise if they do win. I just think that Seattle pulled it apart. So
you really think it won't be a surprise if the Rams win? It would be a surprise for me. I gotta be honest.
It would be a surprise for you.
In Lumen Field?
Well, you know me.
Yeah.
It's just, I just used to being let down. So
I don't know. Your team has been pulling out some miracle stuff.
Yeah. Listen, I can't talk about it anymore. It gives me too much anxiety.
Here's my upset of the week right here. Buccaneers, Washington. You know what?
Are you picking the Buccaneers? Is that why you're picking it?
No, I'm picking Washington. Yeah. I'm picking Washington.
It's funny to me that we're all calling, not all, but that as people are calling for the Washington football team, it's an upset over Tampa, but they're a 4 seed. So
they're a 4 seed playing at home, right? Yeah, I know. With a 6 and 10, a 6 and 10 record. It's like, this is so disgusting. It's so terrible.
No, they're 7 and 9.
Are they 7 and 9? Oh, that makes it a little bit better, a little bit more palatable.
It doesn't make it any better.
It is no different than 10 years ago with your Seattle Seahawks. So you can't Can't play that kind of math.
Well, yeah, it doesn't, except for Tampa's not as good as New Orleans was.
Listen. You want to know why I want Washington to beat the Bucks and
Because you hate Tom Brady.
I do hate Tom Brady, but I even hate right now. I hate the fact that who's that big guy there that announces on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah. What in the world was he talking about when the Bucks beat Detroit? Detroit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit. When the Bucks beat Detroit, he's there. He was going on like, oh, this is a favorite. Tampa's a great team. They could go all the way. This is a favorite. I'm like, they're playing Detroit.
Yeah. You know
what are you doing?
Who I hate more than Tom Brady is Bruce Arians.
So. Bruce Arians is man. I'll tell you this. I think we've talked about this in a few times. Bruce Arians hates quarterbacks. We've talked about this. Look at all the quarterbacks that he has had and what he's done to them. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget this because like my cousin and I were talking about this too. It's like Bruce Arians every time at a press conference is like, well, I thought Tom Brady would be better than that. He made some boneheaded plays. Well, I just don't understand what Tom Brady's doing. It's like, dude, calm down. How about you coach? Stop calling out your quarterback.
Yeah. I thought that you would like Bruce Arians a little more because you both have a penchant for wearing Kangol hats and driving around convertibles.
Listen, I want the Bucks to be eliminated already. Like now, like why are they even here? I couldn't believe half the stuff, and I was so happy with Steve Smith Jr. when he came on. He said, "What are you guys talking about? Tampa is going to be eliminated and eliminated hard." It's like, thank you.
Well, that's what's interesting is, in football, you can't assemble these all-star teams, right? Which is what Tampa Bay tried to do. They try to get all these, former Pro Bowl players, all pros, whatever.
Do you remember Philadelphia?
Expect them to put together. Yeah.
You remember that team? Yeah. It's so crazy that like in baseball and in the NBA, you could do that.
Yeah.
But hockey and football, it just doesn't.
Yeah, translate. I don't know why it doesn't work in hockey. I know why it doesn't work in football is because you can't pick. There's too many positions.
You want to know why it doesn't work in hockey?
You can't have the continuity in baseball and football. Everyone's playing offense and defense, and you're on the same page, right?
That's right. But like in
if to do that in football, it's 22 players.
That's it. But the reason why you can't do that in hockey is just that you have so much is happening in hockey. The coaches influence so much. Like, look at this right now. When I think about this, it kind of still makes me a little sick. There, my friend. You guys won your gold medal, the World Juniors, right? And U.S. beat Canada in the gold medal game at the juniors. And then you're skating around with a garbage can with our emblem on it. And then somebody there on your team throws the garbage can away and was audibly heard saying effing rights, right? And I'm just there going, guys, act like you've done this before. Act like you've won this.
So, you're expecting something to happen that has never happened. Like,
they've won it 6 times.
Oh, okay.
Act like you've done it before.
You're 6 times not. You're wanting maturity from American hockey players.
Yeah, like how Canada. Well, we have slimed Canadians before too.
Man,
I'll never forget when we came.
I cannot believe you're sitting there drinking a cup of wine. I'm a glass of wine, a cup of wine, trying to get me to believe that there should be maturity in American hockey players.
Listen, man. That was atrocious. It was atrocious. It's no different than when Canada
the cup of wine or the trash. You're upset about a trash can, like they should. I'm
upset. Then
they
the way they handled themselves.
Then they should have won.
Hey,
nothing.
I'm the one that said right in the beginning. I'm even surprised we made it to the gold medal game. We had no goaltending. Canada had no goaltending. How in the world are you going to win a championship?
Can. You should have used the trash can. Probably a better shot of slowing goals in.
We had no goal. You need a good French Canadian to be your goalie in there, my friend.
Oh, is that they make the best goalies?
The best. Think about
Why?
it. Martin Brodeur, Patrick Roy. Think about all those great goaltenders. They're all
Patrick
French
Roy?
Canadian. Roy. How dare you? All right, we've got off topic here. Yeah, so
So
congratulations,
we've
US.
covered Saturday's games. Let's pick winners, hearts and wallets.
Yeah. Okay.
Buffalo Colts.
Both heart and wallet.
Yeah,
Bills.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Seahawks, Rams.
It's both for me.
Yeah. I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Man, Bucks, Washington.
So heart is Washington and
Me
wallet
too.
is.
Wallace Bucks.
Yeah, I'm not betting on. Riverboat Ron has let me down one too many times.
Listen.
And the same with Alex Smith. Like there's just not a lot going.
No. I mean, he has made it to the NFC Championship with the 49ers, but this is a much different team.
No, so listen, shout out to Lambton for this beautiful fade that I have today. I saw him Thursday, and we were talking about, and he has a strong dislike for Alex Smith. And he told me something that I think about every time I watch Alex Smith play.
Yep.
This was years ago.
Yep.
I think right after Alex Smith left to go to Kansas City.
Yep.
Is that Lambton told me that Alex Smith couldn't throw a 20-yard out with a tennis ball. And every time I see Alex Smith throw, that's all I hear.
Oh my gosh. Here's the thing, man.
Because he can't do it and he's not mobile and all those things.
Know,
Their defense, Washington's defense is going to have to play lights out. We know historically that Tom Brady does not like pressure up the middle, and we know Chase Young is going to get his ass. Yep. If that happens and knocks them off their rhythm and, and does what the Saints did to them early in the year, that's the problem. And I hope it happens on primetime national TV in front of God.
I don't think that Tom Brady knows how to read a defense. He's never had to. Never had to on the fly because it was always scripted. Yeah. Bill Belichick will never let him stray.
Well, execution matters, right?
Yeah.
They don't. That's not Bruce Arians' forte.
No.
So it's a bad match.
Now the feel good story is Washington going on. The probability is it's probably going to be Tom Brady in the Bucs.
Listen, the only way to heal our nation today is to have the Washington football team win.
You're making the call out there, eh?
Maybe.
Listen, right. You already had enough. You beat Canada in the World Juniors gold medal game. That should have been enough to heal your country.
That's great. Yeah. It's like winning the minor league baseball championship.
Get the hell out of here. What in the world?
The juniors? Winning the juniors? Like I win the Olympics. Like let's talk about that. The juniors?
The World Juniors. That's right.
Whack.
It's been going on forever. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, it has. So is minor league baseball.
I love minor league baseball too.
Who won? So do I. But who won the AAA championship this year?
Who cares? I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. Everybody knows about. Everybody knows about the Little League World Series.
Who won that?
Well, I couldn't tell you.
No
right
one.
now.
Thanks, COVID.
Oh, that was a good one. Pull that one right out of the back pocket. Hey,
oh, there we go. Fire into my trap.
I'm telling you,
jokes for days.
All right, so
Sunday's games.
Ravens Titans, great game.
Yeah,
that's a great game.
Paper.
Smash mouth football. Yep. Great defenses, great running games, high scoring. I say high scoring. High scoring.
Yeah, probably high scoring. I'm interested to see what Lamar Jackson is worth because
he hasn't won a playoff game yet.
I know, but he's been very vocal about that. He needs to turn that around. He knows that about himself. We got to see it.
Yeah, I mean, just because you know that. It is a big game for him. You have to win a playoff game.
Fumbles and turn the balls over, and he's going to be a guy that can't play under pressure.
Yeah. I think this time, though, they're not playing in Baltimore. Maybe it's better for him. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. I think it's going to be a great football game, and I think you might just see Derrick Henry take it to another level.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I need a real good Derrick Henry stiff arm.
Listen, my cousin's the hugest Ravens fan, and I just want him to suck it because I want the Titans to win. I want the Titans to win, man. I've had enough of him talking about the Ravens.
You better
It's
say
like,
his name then.
Ron, suck it.
Man.
One day he's got to come on to one of our Monday Night Lives, you know.
So if Cleveland wins, Baltimore would play Buffalo.
If Cleveland and Baltimore would play Buffalo. Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't see the Ravens. I don't know. I could be wrong. I just think the Titans have been there, but the Titans have had their problems though this season as well.
Matchup. It's a matchup game, right? Who does a better job of getting this matchup together? Is it Vrabel or is it Harbaugh? I don't know the answer to that.
Me neither. That's why I'm saying this is a slugfest.
I kind of feel like it's Mike Vrabel. I kind of feel like Vrabel's a better coach at this point than Jim Harbaugh is.
I think so too.
John Harbaugh, whatever Harbaugh.
Just because of what he's done. But it's a tough one, man. This is a tough one because they're so evenly matched. That's the thing. They're evenly matched. Man, good defenses, good offense.
On paper, this is probably the best game of the weekend. To be
honest, absolutely. Like this is when you look at those two teams, they're like mirror images of each other.
If there's a game that's going to come down to a field goal in the final 30 seconds, I feel like it's this game.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Yeah. Oh, now Bears Saints.
How great will it be if Gostkowski like shanks it to win the game?
I don't know, man. That would be
like his old
that would be horrible, right?
Sideline, he's gonna give him a playoff win, and he just clank.
There's been a lot of that though this season, man.
There has been.
There's been a lot of that.
I find some joy in two former Patriots doinking it at the end of the game to lose.
Like the Browns have Parkey there.
Oh, yeah,
not the guy. Not the guy.
That game can't come down to a field goal.
No, not the guy. You know, considering the Bears. All right, so the Bears are playing the Saints. Last time the Bears have been in the postseason, that's what happened, right? Parkey just botched it for them. Botched it. Like doink doink, double doink.
The double doink.
Double doink. The very fact that a 500 team is in here against the Saints.
Yeah,
it's terrible. It's terrible. They shouldn't be
Arizona Cardinals for being so terrible they couldn't get it together.
Right? They beat Buffalo. They beat Buffalo with that Hail Murray, he wants to call it, whatever.
Don't even give it that credit.
But since then, they've been resting on the laurel since they beat Buffalo.
Yep.
They have not done anything since they beat Buffalo.
Well, they peaked there, and they weren't a good team to start with.
Dude, they were better than the Texans.
Yeah. Well, everyone was better than the Texans.
Yeah. All right, so
we'll touch on that here in a second.
We will.
All week, and then we
Bears Saints all day long. Injured Drew Brees, I don't care. Bears are dead. The Bears are lucky to be here. They lost the last game.
Yeah,
he lost the last game. Yeah, even without Alvin Kamara, who cares?
Well, Michael Thomas is back. None of it bodes well. Dave, plug your ears. You're not gonna like this. I think it's Saints by a lot. I think it's the blowout of Sunday is the Saints Bears game.
I here's the thing: is that if Dave decides to come on Monday, I'm pretty sure he'd agree with what we just said because they're just so bad, and there's nowhere else for the Bears to go. They can't look for another quarterback. They're not in that draft area there where they can look for another quarterback. They're stuck with Mitch Trubisky. They're stuck with this team. They're stuck with it.
Yeah, they got a good defense. They just got to figure it out. You know, and
they've been trying to figure it out for how many years?
You can find a good quarterback in the second or third round. You can.
Absolutely.
If you're a good talent evaluator, and Matt Nagy's not, so they're probably stuck.
But let's look at the history of the Bears as far as looking for talent.
Yeah. They're not great.
No, not by a long shot. Not by a long shot.
What do you think it would take for? We'll talk about this in a second. I'll ask that question after we cover this last game.
Okay. So Browns Steelers, man. Again, three-time matchup.
Yep.
Steelers gave that last game to the Browns. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They gave it to them.
Yeah.
If you're not playing your number one guys, right, you're giving a game.
Yeah, you know, super fascinating to me. All these people are upset at Doug Peterson for how he approached the game.
Mm-hmm.
against the Washington football team on Sunday night. The
But he
Giants
wasn't
fans were
competitive.
upset.
Wasn't competitive. He was not.
He was already
competitive.
out. Why wouldn't he?
Why not play
Pittsburgh
spoiler?
did the same thing.
Why not play
In the final game of
spoiler?
the year.
Why not play spoiler?
They
Pittsburgh,
did.
I understand. Pittsburgh,
I would
I understand.
argue. Listen, but here's been my point this entire time, right? Doug Peterson likes Ron Rivera more than he likes Joe Judge.
Interesting. I mean, that's a good point.
He knew going in the fourth quarter down,
but
10 points.
You can't say that he didn't try to blow the game. He blew the game. He tried to blow.
He wasn't up and then put his backups in and lost.
Yeah.
He just put his backups in.
Yeah.
He was down, didn't think it was surmountable.
Yeah, he was down and put it in his backups. It's like, dude, you're not even fighting. And to me, it's like,
Neither
okay,
did
wow.
Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh didn't either.
No, but Pittsburgh didn't even put him in to start. Pittsburgh already treated that like this is going to be our bye week. We're going to be in there. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
But my point is that helped another team.
It did help another team. Are you supposed to be doing that, though? Is that what your job is to do, is to help another team?
Your job is to develop players so you can win games. That's
so
your
what?
job.
Bring your third strings? Is that it?
Well, you need to evaluate.
Oh,
Do you think Suffold can be your backup over Wentz if you're going to Justin Wentz out? You got to see some real live action.
Gosh.
You got decisions to make.
I disagree with that. I don't know. It's nice that we have the feel good story that Washington's in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and I don't think I could have handled the Giants being in there, to be quite honest. So
to be quite honest, if the Dallas fans would have beat the Giants that day, we couldn't handle it. Imagine how unsufferable those people would be right now.
Man, just terrible. But this Brown Steelers game is gonna be a good game.
No, it's not. Go ahead.
What do you think?
I think Pittsburgh blows them out. I think Stefanski being gone is a massive thing. I think it's a big blow to them.
I know there's a lot of people saying that Stefanski's not there.
Man, that's a bad deal.
Yeah,
it's a really bad. Man.
Like I don't even know who's coaching them. Yeah, this is the most Cleveland thing, right? It's the most Cleveland thing.
Stefanski's done so well for that culture.
Yeah.
He's done so well for that whole group. Like he's a rally point for them. You can he's just a great coach. The future is bright in Cleveland, which is not something you can say for a long time.
Yeah. No, I mean, man, I can't disagree with you. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Is that I want to
too. Listen, I don't know. The only person in the Steelers organization that I like is Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, same here.
The rest of them, I root for them to lose.
Yeah. All right,
actively root for them to lose.
Wallet, Hearts, Ravens, Titans.
My heart says Ravens. My wallet says Titans.
Wow. I'm kind of. I think I'm on board with what you just picked there as well. No. My heart is Titans. Like, what am I talking about? No, my heart is Titans. I hate the Ravens. How dare you, Brad?
I didn't do that at all.
Brad, I've been drinking wine, and you just said some slurry things.
You just like to agree with me. That's all that is.
Anyways, though, heart and wallet both Titans. I personally think that. Yeah. Saints and Bears.
All Saints.
Yeah.
A lot
heart
of Saints.
And wallet. Yeah.
A lot of Saints.
Does it really? I mean, my heart's really not even in that game, but
when the Saints go marching in.
Yeah. All right, Browns Steelers. We know what I'm thinking. My heart's with the Browns.
Listen, I don't know what you. I didn't know what your
heart's with the Browns.
I know where your heart is. Where's your wallet?
Oh, my wallet's with the Steelers, man. It's so sad to say that. Oh. But it is. I mean, you have no Kevin Stefanski. It's like
the fascinating thing for me is the over-under in this game is 47, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
The line is 3.5 Pittsburgh.
Wow, that's very close considering you have no head coach.
Very close.
Yeah, that's really close.
So here's the thing: if this was a 7-point line, I would take Cleveland.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's close.
I think Pittsburgh wins by a touchdown.
But listen, Vegas got their odds wrong. I don't know how many times on a lot of things. Fights, this.
You are out of your mind.
Whatever.
The house is usually winning.
Yeah, Gavin Tucker Took a lot of people to town there on that UFC.
Yes, and shout out Gavin, fantastic job, buddy. But we're talking about one fight out of 10 on that card.
True enough.
The reason, listen, they build big casinos in Vegas for a reason.
Oh, of course, yeah.
They make their money.
Absolutely. Man, great round of football. Super looking for. I mean, this is it. This is the height of football now, really, when you think about it. This is the best football you're going to see is postseason football. Yeah. Super excited for it. Man, and it's the first time I mean, you know what, Brad, you have a good point. I just didn't want to hear you wearing a Josh Allen jersey again. It's like
well, I just figured he wore it every day up until now, and Joanna got home was like, take that off and wash it.
You smell.
Did you shower while I was gone?
Oh man. This is great. This is great. Yeah. Deshaun Watson. So we were just talking about that briefly. We were just talking about that briefly there. He came out, called out basically, I guess, his management altogether.
Yep.
Stating how he will not play. Is that what I'm understanding? He would not play? I haven't
seen that, but that wouldn't surprise me.
That he doesn't like the culture that's being cultivated.
I think in Houston, that's a hard thing, and and especially after
go ahead.
Initially, when I saw he was upset about the GM hiring that he was a consultant. I thought, Deshaun, you're the quarterback.
Yeah.
Then, the power of the internet showed us all again back, when Bill O'Brien was fired and the ownership group came out and said they were going to consult Deshaun and bring him along in this process. So he felt an expectation. So I wholeheartedly disagree that he should be upset that he wasn't involved in the process, except for the fact that they told him he was going to be involved in the process.
Okay. But they also traded.
Was very vocal about wanting.
They traded. Do you think they talked to him about, hey, we're going to trade DeAndre?
No, and I think that he was upset at Bill O'Brien being fired, and he was still upset about DeAndre, and that's how they tried to listen. That group is not great, right? We can't let the inmates run the asylum group.
But
they're tone deaf already.
When I heard JJ Watt come out there and say, "Sorry, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Sorry for wasting one of your years," I thought to myself, this guy, how can you not love JJ Watt, right?
Yep.
JJ Watt's not the same player that he was.
No.
But he's still
You're going to hate this. You know what I think happens to JJ Watt this year? I think they cut JJ Watt. Or trade him. Yeah.
Traded, I'd say.
Yeah. Either way, I don't think he plays for the Texans anymore.
No, I don't think so. I think this was last year you see him in that.
You know where he would be really good? You're going to hate this.
Seattle?
No. I wish. I think that he plays that Chris Long role for the Patriots very, very well. I think he gets into a Super Bowl.
Big thumbs down. Thumbs down.
I hate it too, but I think it's going to happen.
How dare you?
It's going to happen.
Why could he come to Buffalo? Buffalo's still way under the salary cap.
He could. I just think that if he gets a use run like Chris Long did those couple years in New England, I think that I don't know. He turns that game over.
He's a
25-30 snap a game guy right now.
Yeah.
But
he still
dominates.
Yeah. I was just going to say that, right? But the thing is that here's the thing. Your quarterback who's getting $500 million for over the decade or whatever the hell it is there, it doesn't deserve that. I don't care. He is not that great.
Who's getting
Deshaun Watson? Deshaun. He doesn't deserve that. But you were saying, because I remember Martin Tessier there, he ended up putting that thing up there on our little group chat. And you were saying him going to the Dolphins for Tua. And I'm like, no, I would never want to see that. Because I don't want to compete against that guy head-to-head. No.
What do you if you're not the Browns, the Bears, same team. They both have orange.
Who's got that money?
Huh?
Who's got that money? $500 million.
Oh, I think a lot of teams can absorb it. He doesn't have an outlandish contract.
It's $500 million, dude. It's the second highest paid quarterback in NFL right now.
But yes, but like the top 5 is there. Like that's the people.
He's not top 5
direction.
You think he's
Paid.
top 5?
Paid. Top 5 paid. Okay. I'm saying his contract does not preclude him from getting traded. Is what my point is.
Like he's not a top 5 quarterback. For him to even get that money, I don't even understand that. I never understood that.
Yeah. Well, he wins when he has talent around him and the right coach.
Listen, he barely beat Buffalo. Couldn't get it done in the next round.
If Buffalo's your gauge for everyone, then Russell Wilson's not very good either.
Well, I never said that. Okay.
But I'm just
Seattle doesn't have an offensive line.
Using your calculations of people and how they perform against Buffalo, Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. Is that what you're saying, Sean?
Wow, touche. Okay. I will say this though. Okay, I think. I mean, they're not gonna trade Deshaun Watson. That's not gonna happen.
No, I think they should, but they're not going to.
They're not going to. They're gonna keep him and
free Deshaun Watson.
You know, free. Like Patrick Mahomes right now has probably got it the best, right? He's got Andy Reid there who loves the heck out of him. The whole organization loves the heck out of him.
Ownership group, and that's what it is. Yeah. Deshaun Watson, that ownership group is terrible. Yeah. And maybe the GM they have coming in, I can't think of what his name is, but the guy from the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
And if they hire a good coach, but his problem is that so far, they want Eric Bieniemy as who Deshaun Watson has been vocally for. They're not going to interview Bieniemy. Talking, and if you have one, I can come up with one pretty quick.
So my one-on-one question for you, okay, is with Seattle now with their basketball team and now their hockey team and now there talks about getting a basketball team. With their baseball team winning a championship in football, winning won a few championships in the Sounders. Do you think that Seattle has the clout to draw star power over there, like to get star power? I'm not talking about drafting. I'm talking about going out and signing somebody that is star power over there. Any of your teams.
No. The answer is no.
Interesting.
People just feel like Seattle is so disconnected from the rest of the country, being in the upper, Pacific Northwest. That's kind of always been our thing is we can't attract talent because they don't want to be here for, travel reasons or whatever else. And so unless we're competitive, that's a draw. Like I don't see it being a thing, which, man, is the bane of the existence for most.
It's just so sad though, right? Because it's like, to me, it's
yeah.
No, not so much for you.
I mean, it is because we don't, I mean, I think like take Boston, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boston hasn't won their championships largely through acquisition of talent. They have drafted well. At least in football and basketball, right?
Okay, yeah. I'll give you that.
And even
no, basketball. What are you talking about? Basketball. They made trades. They made all trades. Ray Allen, KG.
All right.
Paul Pierce is the only guy.
Sure. I'm talking about the Kevin McHale's, Larry Birds, like
you're talking about the 80s.
I'm talking about real Celtics, not
80s, 90s,
not these,
that.
The one championship.
Okay.
Of recent history. I'm talking about like the real.
Well, they've had so many championships. It's like, geez. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The Ortizes and those guys and for the Red Sox and things like that. Like,
I got to be honest with you. I thought that Toronto could sign anybody. But the thing is that people are nervous about Toronto, and people are nervous about Toronto's media. Toronto's media is vicious, especially when it comes to hockey. Hockey, we're vicious.
Yeah. What I've heard is that it's, people are nervous about playing in Toronto is from a basketball perspective is the travel and the lifestyle is just different than it is in the States. And I think they don't want to adapt.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, you have to eat poutine as opposed to whatever crap you have. That's a good food, man. I don't even understand why you're looking at me like that. You know that poutine is gonna be the greatest food on the planet, and
No.
you're still looking at me like that. Yes,
It's
yes,
good,
yes.
but
It's
it's
because
not that good. It's not.
it's that
It's
good.
not world class.
It is world class. I beg to differ. Anyways, what?
World class food transcends borders. Can we agree to that?
That's why there's so many poutine shops in Ohio.
Is there?
There is, because poutine is a world class food.
Okay.
just because every single one of our foods, you would think that every single one of us has diabetes.
I thought you just got that as when you were born in Canada. I thought they just gave it to you. It's like a birthright.
Because the two guys that invented insulin.
Yeah.
Right? The two guys that invented it are Canadians.
I think if you're Canadian and you're diabetic, it's probably type 3 diabetes.
Made from Canadian food.
Yep.
We need this. We need this insulin.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. All right, one-on-one question for me.
Well, I got sidetracked on based on your little conversation there with that. But that's let's talk about that. What's the best ballpark food at a baseball game?
At a baseball game? I mean, for me, and we're talking about since the 70s, okay? When the Blue Jays came into Inception and going there to games.
Yeah.
It's always been the foot-long hot dog, man. Always has been. I think it always will be. It's just, I mean, yeah, it's very American. It's either that or Cracker Jacks, right? Because
for me it's Cracker Jacks. I have to have Cracker Jacks every time I go to the ball game.
One or the other, right? Is like that or Cracker Jacks, because it's like
I can substitute the hot dog for a good burger. Like in Seattle, we have a lot of barbecue joints in Safeco Field, or whatever we're calling it, T-Mobile Park, whatever is these days.
Did they switch that too? No.
Yeah, it's gross.
What's up with this?
But we've got some fantastic barbecue in that joint too. But it's always Cracker Jacks are the staple.
Listen, I'll never forget. On Whidbey Island, I think that was two of the best barbecue places that I've ever had, except for in Quebec, believe it or not. Two of the best barbecue places I've ever had was in Whidbey Island. I would always think it would be Kansas City or something like that. Yep. Whidbey Island, there was the barbecue joint, and then that one place that just started up. It was called Showing Up. Show Enough.
Yep.
Dude, that was some unbelievable barbecue, man.
Yeah.
It's like
it's still the place.
You know,
I'm on the secret menu at the barbecue joint. So shout out to those fools. Those people put it together. That's
dude,
the best place.
I loved there. I loved it when I was at Whidbey Island. And the only time I've ever had barbecue close to that is when I was in Montreal. But I had to pay an arm and a leg at this one place. It was an arm and a leg. And I'm just like,
they saw you coming and they felt like you probably had the juice for it. Then your big Bluto ass walking through the door and they're like, this guy we'll pay whatever we ask. Whatever we ask, we'll pay.
I had an old fashioned that was made by them. Do you know what an old fashioned is, Brad?
I do.
Okay. So to our viewers, because a lot of people probably don't know what an old fashioned is, right? So it's bourbon with some simple syrup and ice, basically, or and also orange or whatever, right? Yeah. But they decided they made
some bitters.
And some bitters. I'm sorry, I forgot about the bitters. They made one with no orange though. It was with bacon. Oh, bacon. Yeah. So you just stirred around in that bourbon.
I had an old fashioned that way also one time, and they had made these. They made a straw out of chocolate drizzled bacon.
Oh, dude, I've had some of the best donuts at Whidbey Island, man.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the aircraft carrier, which is basically bacon on top of maple on a donut. Oh, So
it should
good.
be called the Canadian, to be honest with you, right? Like that's really what the name.
Yeah,
should
I know,
But-
but I mean, you guys don't really respect us, so I mean, what
should
are we
fight
gonna
for
do?
that.
Yeah, we're Canadian.
That's because you get upset about us celebrating with a trash can. That's why we don't respect you.
Yeah, exactly. Is the stupid Americans.
We named donuts after
I love the US of A. I really hope that your country heals here.
Yeah.
I really hope that that sports is the cause of healing, honestly, as well. Like it's amazing WNBA led the way there in the summer. We're all nervous about that with everybody stopping sports, but that was the right thing to do.
Yep.
And I really hope now that people are looking at athletes in a different way, not just somebody that's just scoring your points or bringing you to whatever, but somebody that's bringing some sort of awareness in your community as well. I'm very proud of our athletes.
Yeah, the shut up and dribble folks can go kick a big rock.
Yeah. I thank you, Brad.
That's it.
Yes, I am so proud of what has been happening. I'm so proud of this generation that is, as much as they do care. There's a lot of, caring is so important, Brad. And I think right now with this pandemic, that's what we need. We need a lot more caring, a lot more sharing.
Yeah.
I
don't disagree with you. We're seeing more of it. I think it's polarizing when you see it not coming through, but I would say overall, there's so many more stories of people being generous and just kind. It's a path, and I think sometimes when you have a system that's broken, this is the way out. There's no easy fixes. It's
so true.
Not the same conversation, but similar to what we talked about. If a blowout win or a close win is more satisfying, it becomes instant gratification versus delayed gratification, and delayed gratification is always more satisfying long term. Yeah, and so
it's
you have
so
to go
funny.
through you just have to go through it to get to it, right? And that's just
I'll never forget that when people are like, "Oh, the NBA lost 2% of their 2% of their fan base and 2%." Do you think the NBA cares about 2%? They did the right thing.
That's the thing. It was interesting because if you look at the numbers, then they're more profitable even down in fan base.
Yeah,
because people will support what is important to them, and so that's the thing, right? Is support. Goes so far. You can have all the numbers you want, but if you don't have a support,
so screw your shut up and dribble. These people, they're Giannis Antetokounmpo. Congratulations for being there in Milwaukee and doing what he did and bringing that whole entire thing. But the WNBA led the charge on that. Yeah. Don't let anybody say that it was the NBA. It was the WNBA that decided they weren't going to play their games, and then it was the NBA afterwards. So,
and they made the move. I mean, even in bringing the awareness, right, with the shirts and with playing for the causes and the say her names, and that led to the NBA putting those slogans on the back of their jerseys and all that stuff. It brings awareness to those issues, and so if you're not into that, then you don't have to be into that. Like that's fine.
You don't have to be,
but just be quiet. You don't have to have an opinion on everything, and if you don't like it, then watch. And here's the thing: if you don't like it, don't support it, and just shut up. Just have a warm glass of milk and shut up. Because no one cares. If you don't have to say it, then don't say it. Just be like Bambi's mom. If you don't have something nice and kind to say, then just sit down and shut up. I don't think it's what Bambi's mom said, but it's close to that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's close to that.
I was thinking that was like off of Happy Gilmore there.
It might be.
Have a warm glass of milk and shut the hell up.
Exactly.
But nevertheless, hey Brad, it's been a great episode, this one here. And I'm looking forward to much greater stuff there. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. You have no idea what it means. The very fact
wherever you get your podcast, we appreciate your support.
Thanks
for rocking with us. We appreciate you. Monday nights we go live. You can jump on with us if you want to. We're loving our friends join us so we can all talk. Monday should be a great time to talk. We'll talk about all these 6 games that are coming through. And plus whatever else comes up, right? Football, basketball, hockey, all those things are kicking out.
Tons.
Until next time.
Tons to be talking about.
Peace out,
folks.
You've listened to the podcast, But now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Get all of our info at guysbeersports.com, where you can find all the ways to connect with us. Watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, and join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments with your own uploaded videos, or even join us as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.